All right, everybody, it's Sunday, and like I said, I didn't make the video yesterday. I've been making them on Sundays, but we had a windstorm come through here, and it just destroyed a bunch of stuff. Ripped the roof off of the barn and all this stuff, because, you know, the barn is the shop. So this is a really, really old barn that we restored. I don't know if I've ever showed you guys this stuff. There's an old hay elevator up there. It's really cool. Anyway, let's get into it. I've had the flu all week. We had a windstorm happen and knock our power out. Our horse corral's destroyed. Our front fence is destroyed. The barn roof is leaking like crazy when it rains. But we still worked on this thing on Saturdays. I feel pretty good about ourselves that nothing has stopped us from working on this thing. We're getting it done. So let's talk about it. This right here, all this wood, that's the flange for the mold. So when we mold it, we'll mold that. And this is the part where the side walls will sit on that, and then it will bolt together. So that's what we're doing right now. It's really important for that thing and all of these things to be at the right angles. Let me try to get something to point for you. So this part right here, this is a 3-degree angle sloped out that way, because that will let the part come out when we make the parts out of the mold. This needed to be at a right angle and flat, because the way the parts are going to pull, we can't have this up because it'll obstruct the part from coming out, because our mold's going to be a 2-piece mold and it's going to come off this way. We're not going to rely on it to go down because we have wheel wells. And so this corner, remember that, we have this back corner and then these. So when we go to pull our part, if that part kind of like just gets a little sideways in there or kinks, it won't come out. This will be another mold here, flanged, and it will bolt on, and this whole section will come off, and then it'll be bolted or molded down the center, and then the mold will come apart in 2 directions that way too. The reason for that is this is the floor, the deck of the camper, and it's going to be very, very rigid, because we're not going to use any core material like wood or anything like all other campers do. We're going to use all composite materials. So it's going to be very, very rigid. Sometimes when you pull parts, your parts will flex, and that's what gives you the forgivingness to get them out. Let me show you a mold for an airplane that I made a long time ago. I made this mold when I was like 23 years old. This mold right here. So that's for an airplane. It's a lower cowling for an oil cooler system. This part will flex. It'll kind of kink sideways, and then you can pop it out at an angle. So you can get away with it because it's only 3 layers of cloth, or 5 layers of cloth. So the part will flex. Makes it a lot easier to get it out. That's why that doesn't need to have seams in it. This, on the other hand, this is not going to flex at all. It's going to be rigid. It's going to have coring material in it, like honeycomb coring materials and density foam coring materials. So we'll need for all these angles to be exactly where they need to be, and then we got to make the split mold, whatever. Sorry that I'm not I don't know, like I'm just mentally drained right now, you know, like when you're talking and you can't think of words. That's how I am right now. It's been exhausting, and now I have to do all of this stuff. Like I have to clean up the yard. I have to get the trees out of the neighbor's field because the county came over, and a bunch of our trees, like probably about 8 of them, fell on the road. Well, the county came and they just bulldozed all those trees into my neighbor's field, and he's a farmer. He's a really nice guy and he's understanding, but that's not fair. Now I got to go out there and I got to buck all these trees out of his field because, you know, he's got to farm it in the spring. And then I got to get all the stuff out of the corral, all the stuff off the fences, and get the fences back up. We were laying in bed when the storm was happening and just listening to the trees hitting the ground, hitting the fence, listening to the roof come off the barn. It was pretty scary, man. Like, I'm not going to lie. I thought a tree was going to fall on the house, and I didn't know what to do because I went outside, and you didn't want to be outside because all the trees were falling around you and all the branches and the tops of the trees are flying past you. And then the next day we had another storm it wasn't as bad, but I mean, like, I would say very, very close, and it knocked more stuff down. So I'm a kind of person, I guess, to where I stress out about all the things that I have to do. And that's what I'm doing right now, is just thinking and like kind of putting together like a strategy of how I'm going to get it all done, and then wanting to sleep in because it's overwhelming. But these are all good problems to have. I can't complain because my life is still really, really good. Nobody got hurt. It's all things that can be replaced. We have insurance. So I don't know, man. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe to our page, because like I always say, we're going to give a camper away when we get all this tooling and molding done. We'll build a camper. We're going to give it away. We'll deliver it to you if you are a subscriber to our page and if you've commented. So this is the way we're going to pick the winner. The winner is going to be picked by somebody in the comment section of one of the videos, a random video. And then if you're not a subscriber, you don't get it. You don't win. You have to be a subscriber also. So do that, please, man. Give us some support. We really appreciate it. What does it hurt? Just like and subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything. Let me show you some stuff real quick too. Another thing. This is a big hurdle for us. What we're doing right now is, you see this line right here? That's one of the body lines we created. Well, that's really, really nice and straight. It's a really, really nice body line. We're happy with it. This body line right here, on the other hand, we don't like. It is not straight. It's straight, but if you're a bodyman and you know what I'm talking about, it has some wobbles in it. So this is actually the top, where the thing is flipped over upside down right now. We're working on it upside down. So when you flip this thing over, this body line will be on the bottom. This one will be on the top. So if you look at this body line, you see how you can see everything and it's noticeable? That's what that body line is going to do. It'll be on the top, and if there's any wave in it, you'll see that it's not straight. So we got to go in there with our board sanders and basically just redo that whole line. I learned a valuable lesson molding, which is funny because I've been a mold maker for 28 years. Nothing ever goes right. You can always learn something. What I learned from this is, whenever you make your plug, make the whole entire form first. Don't do what I did. I did all the body work on these panels, and then I put that board on there and I saw that line isn't where I want it. So I've been doing all of this body work down these panels when I should have been blending this and that together and making that line straight as I've been doing it. So it's kind of like starting over, because this is a lot of work right here to make that line straight. We're going to put the flange on the front, the flange on the back. But that's a very valuable lesson I've learned from this, is make the whole entire form first, the whole entire plug. The shape has to all be there, because you'll run into problems like this. And it's embarrassing for me to admit that, but you know what? You don't learn and you don't get better at anything if you don't admit that you make these mistakes. This is a stupid mistake. I should have caught it. I should know better, but I did it. And it's going to cost us a lot of time to fix that. But we'll just get it done next weekend. That's what we're going to be working on, getting this flange all the way around. We might go the route of, so there's a couple ways you can do this. So this plug right here, we can take what's called a splash off of it. And that's, it's not a mold, it is a mold. But what you do with that mold is you make another plug, but that plug is all pure fiberglass. It'll be 3 layers of 3-ounce mat, all rigid, all supported. And the reason you do that is because these materials, when you build this stuff like out of this melamine, they're all inferior materials because they like to warp. And if they get any moisture on them, like right here, they'll warp. So you want to get away from that inferior material as quickly as possible and get your plug, your splash, or your second plug into composite material. This right here, like I said, bad mistake using that paneling because it kind of warped on us, so we had to straighten it all out. But we can build a fiberglass one that's extremely rigid and easier to work with. Like this wood, for example. The reason we're using that wood is because we just want to form a shape. That's all we want, just a quick shape and form, and then we'll mold it. Well, this wood, you know, who knows? It's 32 degrees out here right now, but if it warms up, if we get some more humidity in the air, that wood, it'll change shape on you. And composites, they do that, but not as bad as these materials. So that's another example. I don't know if we're going to do that or not because it's going to be a lot more money. We'll have to spend all the money on molding this or splashing this thing. And I don't know. We'll see what we're doing. I'm going to think about it all week long. Let me know what you guys think. If you have any suggestions, if you built a camper before, where you're watching from, or whatever, man. Just we appreciate the support. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys have a good weekend, and stay safe and do everything with love, but not blindly.